Hello everyone. Today I'm going to take you through memory management. Uh, my name is Nubi Filmo and I'm the one to take you through this video. So let's get into the content. Yeah, we have an introduction to computer memory, and we are saying that memory greatly affects computer speed as the processor must move information and retrieve data from it while running applications and executing operations. So when the computer is carrying out its operations, it has to access information, it has to store information into the memory and also retrieve data from the memory. So as it is carrying out these operations, we are seeing it accessing the what? The memory. The moment the computer is carrying out a certain process, it has to access the memory for some data or to store some information. So they are saying that a perfect computer memory is that which can supply data immediately on CPU request. So the moment computer memory is able to supply data on CPU requests, as in the moment the CPU places a request for certain data in the memory, and then the computer is able to provide that data immediately, then we say that that is a perfect computer memory. So we also say that the growing ratio of speed and capacity suggests a need for a memory management unit that can help to improve memory throughput. So we've seen data volumes, they are increasing, data capacity and speed is also increasing. The speed of the processors, we are seeing the speed is greatly improving. So this improvement or these improvements are calling for an improvement in the rate of accessing what? Computer memory. So memory management therefore refers to the process of overseeing and controlling the use of computer memory. So what as the memory management unit is carrying out all these operations, we are saying that memory management, or remember it's the roles of memory management are designated to the memory management unit. So the entire process of overseeing and controlling the use of computer memory is what we are calling memory management. So let's get into the other slide. And what do we say here? We are saying that they want to explain throughput. Remember, we are saying that throughput refers to the rate at which data can be transferred to and from the memory. So the rate at which you access data on the memory and the rate at which you retrieve data, that is the rate at which you store data to the memory and the rate at which you retrieve data from the memory is what we are referring to as throughput. So throughput directly affects the computing system and the application performance. So if at all the rate at which you access data on the memory is small, then it means your performance will be low. We expect your computer to be slow because it will take more time accessing data on the memory. But if at all your computer accesses data on the memory, your access to data is immediate, then we expect your performance to be very high. That is, your computer can easily retrieve data that it requires from the memory at any time. So they are saying that throughput is measured in megabytes per second, gigabytes per second, kilobytes per second, and many more units of data per second. So we very well know that data is measured in various dimensions or in various sizes. We see that smallest being bytes, then from bytes we have kilobytes, from kilobytes we have megabytes, from megabytes we have gigabytes, from gigabytes we have terabytes, from terabytes we have the peta, then from peta, what do we have next? There are very many different memory sizes there from each other, but all I remember we have the yottabytes, we have the and very many others. So the moment you get these data and you divide them by each and every second, the ratio of data to a second is what we are referring to as what? As throughput, or is the measurement of what? Of throughput. We are saying computer memory is a finite resource in computing and thus requires effective usage. So since memory is very, very key and very, very crucial, so we need to manage it effectively because we need effective memory usage. So memory management systems are designed to prevent programs from interfering with each other and optimizing of memory usage. An example of interference, we can look at a case whereby we have three programs. Program A requests for 500 MBs. Let me take a case. We have 1 GB, 1 GB of storage or 1 GB of memory. Then we have program A, it goes ahead and it requests for 500 MBs. Program B goes ahead and requests for 300 MBs. Then program C goes ahead and also requests for 300 MBs. At the end of the day, we shall have what we call interference. Since the total of the storage requests that have been placed, the total of the memory requests that have been placed by the three programs adds up to 1.1 GB, but our actual memory is 1 GB. So where will the 100 MBs come from? So that means we shall have an inconvenience in running our different programs or in running our different processes. So they are saying some of the memory management schemes are explained below. So below we are going to look at the memory management schemes, but before that, I would like us to look at the logical and the physical memory addresses, whereby it simply displays there on the screen. You can see that. Then the physical memory is one that is seen by the memory unit, that is physical, whereas the logical address is one that is generated by the CPU as illustrated below. So the logical address is generated by the CPU, so it is also called the virtual memory address, that is the virtual memory address. So it is not anywhere, it is just in space. Like you say that there is a point in space. So also this address is somewhere in space, we don't know where it is. But then we are saying that the physical address is the one that is seen by the memory unit. So the memory unit can actually tell that this address is at this point on the memory. So going ahead on memory management schemes, we are saying that the first scheme that we have is memory allocation. So we are saying that memory allocation simply refers to the process of assigning memory to programs. What this means, it is getting memory and giving it to a program. When a program sends a request that I need this amount of memory, then we allocate that memory to that what? To that program, that is memory allocation. So it is simply offering to the what? To the request. So they are saying that memory allocation is further subdivided into contiguous allocation and non-contiguous allocation. So in contiguous allocation, it's assigned memory to programs a contiguous block, that is a simple block. So contiguous simply means I would say contiguous, something contiguous is if at all we have two objects and they are contiguous, that means they are sharing borders. So they have direct borders. For example, if at all we have two rooms, let me say we have room 1 and room 2. So they are separated by a wall. That means that two rooms are contiguous because their walls are touching each other. Actually, they are sharing a common one, a common wall. But if at all the rooms are non-contiguous, then they won't have any wall in between them. That means there is space in between them. They are not actually connected or they are not physically connected. So they are saying that the contiguous method, going ahead, they say that this method is efficient for programs that want to access their memory sequentially. If at all a program wants to access its memory sequentially, let me say it presses an order of 500 MBs, then that 500 MBs to first access the 300, accesses let me say the 50 MBs, then it will access the other 50, making 400, then it accesses other small portions, but continuously or in a sequential manner. Then we allocate that process memory in a contiguous memory allocation format. But for the non-contiguous one, it assigns memory to program in non-contiguous blocks. So it's like selling to someone land. For the contiguous one, you can say that if you want 1 acre, I've given you 1 acre, it is there from here up to here. But if at all it is non-contiguous and someone wants 1 acre, you can say this land is just a quarter of what you want. So it is a quarter, but I have another half and a quarter somewhere. Or you say that this is half of what you requested for, or this is half of what you want to purchase, but the other half is actually somewhere else. So that is the non-contiguous memory allocation. So moving on, we have fragmentation. Fragmentation, we want to talk about fragmentation. Remember, fragmentation is also another memory management scheme. So what is fragmentation? They are saying that fragmentation refers to the process of breaking the free memory spaces into little pieces as processes are loaded and removed from the memory. That means if a process requests for 500 MBs of memory, we allocate to it 500. Then as this process is done with its functions, there is a high chance that the remaining memory, let me say if at all in the 500, it used all the 500, after using it, for it will erase the memory. And after erasing this memory, it faces very many chances of breaking into pieces. So it just drops. When it drops off this memory, chances are high that we are going to have very many fragments. So there is external fragmentation and internal fragmentation, whereby they are saying that external fragmentation exists when there is enough memory or enough total memory space to satisfy a request, but the available spaces are not contiguous. That is, someone requests for 1 acre. Yes, you have even more than 1 acre of land, but the plots are not in the same location. But for internal fragmentation, they are saying it occurs when a process is allocated space that is slightly larger than the requested memory. Someone says, I want 1 acre, you say that I will have 1 acre. But then there is this space that is going beyond 1 acre, but I cannot sell it to anyone. So you give it to that person just because it is going to remain there in space, and yet you cannot sell it to who? Anyone, and you cannot just say that let me give you 1 acre and I remain with these few meters of land as mine. Is it okay? And then we look at, they are saying that external fragmentation is controlled by using a technique called compaction. So what compaction simply means is this is just a technique that it collects all the memory fragments and joins them to form a single block of what? Of memory. Then the other scheme of memory management is memory reclamation. Memory reclamation refers to the process of reacquiring memory that is no longer needed by a program. So if a program is done running, it requested for a particular storage, and it is done running. So how do we get control of this memory, or how do we transfer this memory back to the what? The central depository. So it can be done in various ways. That is, we have swapping, garbage collection, ballooning, man paging, very many. But below I explained a few, that is swapping, ballooning, and garbage collection. So swapping is a traditional method and it involves temporarily transferring inactive memory pages to secondary storage. So they are saying typically a hard disk or solid state drive. But this swapping it can lead to performance slowdowns. Yeah, literally swapping. They are saying it involves transferring memory, inactive memory pages to a secondary storage. So the moment you transfer these memory fragments or this unused memory to a secondary storage, so they are probably might be latency. That is the lag between accessing this memory as part of the what of the secondary storage. So we also have ballooning, whereby ballooning is explained as a lightweight alternative to swapping, similar to swapping, but it's lightweight, and it relies on the operation of guest operation systems running in a virtual machine. So the hypervisor requests the guest OS to voluntarily release unused space. That means if at all you have a virtual machine that is running on your PC, and then it is assigned 500 MBs. So the moment this hypervisor or the virtual machine that you installed on your Hyper-V is not using a certain allocation of memory, then it is requested to release this memory back to the what? To the host operating system. Then we also have garbage collection. Uh, they are saying it is usually used by programming languages and it automatically identifies and reallocates memory blocks that are no longer referenced by any active program elements. And then moving on, we have paging. We are saying that uh, is paging is simply dividing the logical and the physical memory spaces into fixed blocks called pages. That means if you have a very big plot of land, for example, you can say let me just divide this land into squares or into boxes of 50 by 50 meters, 50 by 50 feet, or 50 by 100 feet as you want. So demand paging, we have demand paging, it's a type of paging, and they are saying virtual memory technique. So for it works with the virtual memory, and it brings pages into physical memory only when they are needed. So on call, this memory, this virtual memory are then what are created, and then the hardware support for paging, that is the memory management unit. Remember, we say that the memory management unit works with the what? The physical memory, and that means it is a hardware one. It cooperates with the hardware. Then page replacement policies, they are here and they are self-explanatory. They are saying that page replacement policies determine which page to evict from the physical memory, which page to remove from the physical memory. So the optimal page replacement policy, that one will remove the farthest in the future, remove the page that will be farthest in the future, the page that will be used in the longest period, that will be required later. Then the first in, first out, what you sent in first has to be removed first. So that means that recently used pages will be evicted last. Then list recently used, what you last accessed will be first. What you they are saying it removes pages that have not been used for the longest period of time. What you last accessed will be removed. What will be removed first. And then the disadvantages of paging: overhead due to need of maintaining page tables, creates memory usage due to internal fragmentation within the pages, increases. Then for large address spaces, multi-level paging may be necessary to manage the page table hierarchy, and this is complex. Then the hardware support requirements, this may limit applicability of paging to systems without the memory management unit. Then this has been explained. Then we have what we call the second chance. It is similar to the last recently used, but it gives pages a second chance before they can be removed or they can be dropped. That is, a page, if at all it is not accessed, it is removed. So the one that is referenced or it is accessed, it is given a bit of what? The bit is set to 1. And the one that is not accessed, it has a bit set to 0. So if at all your bit is 0, on checking, then you are removed. If at all it is more than 0, then you are kept in what? You're kept in the page tables. Then finally, we have the references on this slide, the last slide of ours. Uh, that is it for today. I thank you all for following me up to this point. I'm gonna put the, the references in the description for your own information, just for accessing these files, just in case you need them. I welcome any addition, any subtraction, and those that really want to know more, please recommend these links. You can use them for further your knowledge. Then any advice is welcome. The comment section is open. I thank you all and bye bye.